How to fix bundled Java runtime missing error in Age of History 2. Welcome back to AppData. Today, we are tackling a highly frustrating issue that prevents Age of History 2 from launching properly. Many players encounter an alert stating that the application was configured to use a bundled Java runtime environment, but the runtime is missing. Our team has spent extensive time analyzing this execution failure to bring you the definitive troubleshooting guide. By the end of this comprehensive tutorial, you will have a perfectly running game environment. Let us begin by understanding the core mechanics of this specific launch failure. The game relies heavily on internal Java files to execute its primary engine processes. When these specific Java files are missing or placed in the incorrect directory, the application immediately throws the runtime missing error. At AppData, we confirmed that this usually happens during an interrupted download or a faulty extraction process. Interestingly, we noticed a very specific symptom regarding how the game interacts with archive software. You might find that the game actually launches successfully if you run the executable directly from inside a WinRAR window. However, attempting to run it normally from your desktop or local drive results in an immediate crash. This behavior perfectly isolates the problem to a folder structure discrepancy on your local drive. The first and most crucial step is to properly extract the game files from their original archive. Do not simply drag and drop the executable file onto your desktop, as this leaves the critical runtime dependencies behind. You must extract the entire folder structure completely to a dedicated location on your local drive. Once the full extraction is complete, you need to verify the integrity of the newly created folder. Navigate to the installation directory and look specifically for a folder labeled JRE or Java. The fundamental issue is that the in-game Java runtime environment is completely missing from its designated location. If that folder is absent, the game has no way to process its own code. If your extraction process failed to produce the required files, the most effective solution is a complete purge of the current installation. A clean uninstallation is often the most definitive way to resolve this missing runtime error. We recommend deleting the entire game folder manually to ensure no corrupted configuration files remain on your system. After deleting the main folder, you should also clear out any temporary files associated with the failed launch. Press the Windows key and R, type %appdata% and press Enter. Locate any folders related to the game or its publisher and delete them to ensure a truly clean slate. Now, you must proceed with a fresh and clean reinstallation of the game. Downloading a fresh copy and performing a proper, uninterrupted extraction is highly likely to fix the issue completely. Our team verified that a correct, clean installation is the most absolute solution for this specific runtime bug. If a clean reinstallation does not immediately solve the problem, we need to address the system-level Java configuration. You should manually download and install a standalone version of Java directly from the official Oracle website. Installing Java 8 or Java 17 onto your system can provide the necessary runtime environment that the game is failing to locate internally. During our testing, we found that older games sometimes struggle with the newest Java versions. If Java 17 does not integrate properly, downgrade to Java 8, as it offers the highest compatibility for legacy Java-based applications. Once installed, make sure you attempt to run the game specifically from its native installation folder rather than a shortcut. Even with Java 8 installed globally, the game might still insist on looking for its missing bundled version. To force the game to recognize your system-wide Java installation, we need to configure your Windows environment variables. Open your Windows search bar, type Advanced System Settings, and click on Environment Variables at the bottom of the window. In the System Variables section, look for the path variable and click Edit. You need to add the exact file path to the bin folder of your newly installed Java directory. This tells Windows, and consequently the game, exactly where to find the Java executable when the bundled version fails. Sometimes, Windows security features block newly extracted executable files from accessing their secondary directories. Right-click on the game executable file and select Properties from the context menu. Navigate to the Compatibility tab and check the box labeled Run this program as an administrator. Apply the changes and attempt to launch the game once more. Giving the application elevated privileges ensures it has the necessary permissions to read the bundled JRE folder. We have seen many cases where restricted read permissions mimic the exact symptoms of a missing runtime environment. Another common culprit we analyzed is overzealous antivirus software interfering with the extraction process. Antivirus programs often falsely flag executable files inside the bundled Java folder as malicious heuristics. Check your antivirus quarantine vault to see if any files from the JRE folder were silently isolated during the download. If you find quarantined files belonging to the game, you must restore them and add the entire game folder to your antivirus exclusion list. This guarantees that future launches will not be interrupted by background security scans. After setting the exclusion, you might need to extract the game one more time to ensure all files are intact. If the graphical interface continues to fail, we can bypass the standard launcher using the Windows command prompt. Open command prompt as an administrator and use the Change Directory command to navigate directly to your game folder. From there, you can manually trigger the Java executable with specific parameters to force the game to start. To make this command line process permanent, our team recommends creating a custom batch file within the game directory. Right-click inside the folder, create a new text document, and input the direct Java launch command pointing to your system installation. Save the document with a .bat extension and use this new file as your primary game shortcut. Having multiple versions of Java installed simultaneously can severely confuse legacy applications. Open your Windows control panel and navigate to the Programs and Features section to review your installed software list. If you see multiple iterations of Java runtime environment, uninstall all of them except for the specific version required by the game. Sometimes the missing runtime error is actually a disguised memory allocation failure within the Java machine. Open your Windows environment variables again and create a new system variable dedicated to Java memory options. Set the value to allocate a specific amount of system memory to give the runtime enough resources to initialize properly. While it seems unrelated, outdated graphics drivers can occasionally cause the Java graphics wrappers to fail upon launch. The system misinterprets this display failure and reports it as a missing Java runtime environment. We strongly advise utilizing a dedicated uninstaller tool to wipe your current drivers and installing the latest package directly from your manufacturer. Finally, if all localized fixes fail, you may be dealing with corrupted registry keys from a previous Java installation. You will need to use a dedicated registry cleaner to completely wipe all Java entries from your Windows machine. Once the registry is clean, reboot your system, perform a fresh installation of Java, and launch the game again. Following these detailed diagnostic steps will definitively restore your application access to the Java runtime environment. Don't forget to follow AppData for more.